Christmas is a really special time that you can spend with friends and family. But whenever you have a stoma, you just need to be a little bit more prepared and have all your supplies organised early. Whether you're new to having a stoma or whether you've had it for a long time, please be aware that delivery services do have a cut-off time for when you can order your supplies to ensure that you have them in time for Christmas. So I would advise you now to actually go and look and see what you need and order a little bit more than what you normally would do, because the delivery services and also your local pharmacist or chemist will be closed over the holiday period, so you won't have access to those services if you happen to run out of supplies. Another little thing to remember would be that if you are currently having problems, I would advise you to go to the stomach care nurse as soon as possible and get your product, have a look at the products and get something to sort out the problem that you are experiencing, so that you have time to order the proper supplies so that this problem will not reoccur over the Christmas period. Christmas is a time when we all eat and drink too much, and for people with a stoma that has some implications in that the more you eat, the more your stoma will function, so you just need to be aware that you may need to empty your bag a lot more often, or you may need to change it frequently. The type of foods that we eat over Christmas time are usually richer, and we eat more often. So I would really advise you to eat little and often whenever you are maybe early days after having your surgery. Because if you think that you are going to be able to sit down and enjoy maybe a 3-course meal the way you normally would have done pre-surgery, it's probably expecting a little too much of you. Now if you are further on after your surgery and you're maybe a few years down the line, you know what you can do and what you can't do. But there are some foodstuffs that you do need to be a little bit more cautious with, and that would be like your fibrous foods. Things that are really common around Christmas time would be your Brussels sprouts, your Christmas cake, your mince pies. They're really heavy foods, and it takes a little bit more for the bowel to digest. Christmas time you usually find that there are lots of nuts available as well. And as anybody with an ostomy will know, it's really important that you either eat minimal amount of nuts or you avoid them altogether, because there is a risk of obstruction. So it's okay that you have lots of food in the house and that you're feeding everybody. However, if you are the chief cook, you have something else to think about. Think about that heavy weight of the turkey that you have to lift in and lift out of the oven. But one word of warning would be that if you are really early post-op, I would really delegate that job out to somebody else, because the weight and the movement of lifting down really does pull in your abdominal muscles. And also think about your heavy saucepans full of boiling water. If there's somebody else there in the house to do that, just give that job to them as well, because it's very easy to cause a little bit of pain or discomfort to your abdominal muscles, and you really don't want that over the Christmas period. During the Christmas period, as you know, there's lots of food, but there's also lots of drink and alcohol to be consumed if that's what you want to do. A few little hints and tips would be that if you favour anything with a little bit of fizz, pour it out and let the fizz go out of it, and then that means that you're not going to be filled up full of wind, which would ultimately come out through your bag and cause a little bit of ballooning and maybe cause you a little bit of discomfort. Something to think about would be careful and measured about what you eat and drink, because if you drink too much, you might forget about that you have a bag in the first place, and it also might cause you some difficulty in emptying or changing it, and you really don't want that to happen to you over the Christmas period. There is absolutely no reason why you can't enjoy a drink if that's what you want to do, but keep it all in moderation. Christmas is a time whenever families really make an effort to get together. However, if you have just recently had surgery and are in the recovery stage, this might be causing you some anxiety if you haven't seen people in a while. The first thing you're going to be thinking about is, what am I going to tell them, or who do I tell? And you don't have to tell anybody anything if you don't want to. However, if you've had surgery and you are recovering, people are going to see that you are feeling better if you've had a history of colitis beforehand and they've known that you've been ill. I've been thinking about this, and probably the thing to do is to say to people that yes, you've had surgery and that you are recovering, and you don't have to go into the details of it all. For other people that maybe you are going through treatment or chemotherapy, you're going to have to perhaps tell people some of the information as to what you've been through, just so that they can understand that you might not just be feeling as Christmassy and as festive as what you normally would have done. For some people, whenever you have friends and family coming to stay, you want to worry about bathrooms and where people are going to sleep, and that's just like anybody else who are having friends and family coming. But just give yourself the time and the patience to rest if you have a lot of people about. Christmas is a long period of time to have friends and family around, especially if you're not feeling 100%. If you're invited out and you're not feeling like going, just very politely refuse and excuse yourself. Or go, but arrange for a time for somebody to come and pick you up so that you are not feeling under pressure that you have to go out and be the real soul of the party. Another thing to think about would be that Christmas Day is a long day. Everybody falls asleep after their Christmas dinner, and just use it as an excuse to go up and have a lie down and rest. There's absolutely no harm in doing that at all. If you're planning to go away over the Christmas period, either to go skiing or somewhere to a hot destination, a few little hints and tips just to think about. Remember to order your supplies in good timing because, as I've mentioned in a previous post, some of the delivery services and chemists will have closed down, and there is usually a cut-off date as to when they can guarantee that the supplies will come to your house. So order really well in advance. Remember that we have a copy of a travel certificate and a holiday checklist, which is available on the website, and it just takes you through exactly what you will need to bring with you on holiday. The travel certificate is just a little piece of information for whenever you're going through security, and it can be available in different languages and just explains to the security personnel that if they do stop you and question what you have in your tummy, it just explains really that you have a stoma bag on and the reason why you have it there. If you're going skiing or snowboarding, and if it's something that you have done in the past, well then that's fine. Away you go, enjoy yourself. The extra protection of your ski gear usually is enough to provide reassurance that your stoma won't get damaged if you do fall. However, if you normally did it before your surgery and this is the first time that you're going, I have a few hints and tips for that as well. There are some support belts that are available on the market that have really good elastic support, and that will help protect your abdominal muscles as well as your stoma. If you don't need anything as hard or as protective as that, you can also get a little stoma guard, which is really hard and it hooks around from side to side with a belt, and it just covers your stoma pouch, but it actually gives you hard protection on top of the stoma. So that if you do fall, then it is protected. If you don't need to use anything like this, and if you are skiing and you're maybe concerned that you will fall, your stoma is actually really quite hardy and will cope with a lot of things. If you do fall, and whenever you change your pouch, whenever you get back to the villa, you might well find that it looks a bit bruised. Really don't worry too much about that at all, because as long as the stoma is functioning and you're not in any pain, if there is a little bruise on it, it will just come away itself and the stoma will just get back to normal again. Your abdominal muscles will probably feel under huge pressure skiing, and if this is your first time following your surgery, you probably will be really exhausted. But remember all the après ski that you can indulge in, and just really relax and enjoy it and get back to doing what you really enjoy doing.